Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you right now is something that a lot of you have been clamoring for. What actually happened after the debate? Was it bad? Was it good? Is gun control going to be the soup du jour for Kamala Harris presidency? Or is Trump going to pull it out and hopefully we can make something work? There's a lot of things that have been going on in the sphere of what happened here. And even in our live stream, we've got to address something because some stuff is popping up now around undecided voters that I need to make you guys aware of. Now, of course, everything that I'm about to show you, because there's a lot of stuff, will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments field right down there. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on because we got to spread some freedom. And speaking of spreading freedom, beautiful people and patriots across this nation, we're seeing it again. The YouTube algorithm is deleting people's subscriptions across the board, interrupting your freedom prescription for 2A every day. That's the YouTube algorithm monster. Look at that. YouTube subscription, that's yours right there on that plate. He's getting ready to snack it so you won't even know. Getting caught unawares. Basically manipulating your ability to see what you need to see for our 2A rights. So make sure that is turned on because we are seeing a massive dip all of a sudden out of the blue. And every time I show you this green bastard, all of a sudden the numbers go way back up. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into this, because we've got some stuff to talk about. So the reason that we talk about this are two disclaimers. One, you got to go out and vote. Doesn't matter what I'm about to show you, you have to go out and vote. Take 4 of your friends to vote. Get everyone you know to go vote. Make sure your family members vote. You have to vote. It doesn't matter if they tell you you're going to win 100% or you're going to lose 100%. You go vote, and then you look at everything after the dust settles on the next day, November 6th in this case. That's the first disclaimer. Second disclaimer. Everything that we're about to see is what people are saying from the Undecideds column, and this is directly related to our 2A rights, if we are going to be a massive amount of defense or the potential to be on a massive amount of offense, which is why we're covering this, because it's crucially important to activate around this information. But let's get into this. I've got to show you some stuff specifically around undecided voters. I've got 2 or 3 videos to show you, and then I've got some actual articles that are from the mainstream media kind of echoing the same thing because there's a pattern. It's taken me a while to put all together for you guys, but let me hear you in the comments and let's start this train.
Vice President Harris, I really, really wanted Vice President Harris to hit it out of the park. I don't think she did. I think she did better than some people expected her to. The cackle was not there. I kept waiting for it and it didn't come. But I still didn't get answers. I didn't get answers to fundamental questions that we need to know as voters. And we just keep getting circled around that.
Like what? What did you not get an answer to?
Her economic plans. What is an opportunity economy? What does that mean? Who's paying for the tax cuts that she's proposing? Because in my opinion, giving people down payment assistance on houses just drives inflation up higher. Who's paying for all of these child tax credits? That's just the taxpayers coming out of pocket and hurting the middle class again. So I don't think that we got to the meat and potatoes of the things that really matter. And we know from Donald Trump's presidency before, he can fix the economy. So I was really looking for her to make an impact on my thought process tonight, and she didn't deliver that.
All right, that was on Dr. Phil. Again, undecided voter, and what did she say at the end? I knew things were better under Trump. What that points to is a tying of Kamala Harris to the Biden presidency, which makes sense because she's the vice president. That's what they want to avoid. And there's going to be a lot of the stuff that I'm about to show you that's in this same vein. That was from Dr. Phil the day after the actual debate itself. Okay? Remember, on this channel, we talked about the nonverbals, her appearance, his appearance, the likability factor. That was a huge piece. She was making it all about the big feels and nothing about policy. We hit on that a lot during the debate when we live streamed it. That was just echoed by an undecided voter. Remember, they're deciding this election. Okay? Now I'm going to go to the next one. This next one is pretty big as well. This is from CNN. Tell me when you start to catch themes. Again, you got to vote, vote. Hey, did I mention you need to vote? Okay, get your family to vote. Good talk. Let's vote.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
What did you see that
All right. I don't know if I can afford to take that risk. Things were better under Trump's economy. Inflation was not. It is bad. Guys, this is what it's coming down to. Everyone's watching all the rallies. Everyone's watching all of the political debates. Everyone's watching the polls, this, that, the other. By the way, vote some more. Legitimately, it's all boiling down to how bad did it feel under Trump versus how bad it felt under Harris. Now, we are specifically focused on the 2A here, but there's direct crossover because Harris is obviously a 2A villain, quite obvious, and Trump is malleable. Just gonna be honest, he is malleable, so we get the right people around him, push the right energy, and we can make something happen. But we have a guaranteed gun controller in Kamala Harris, all right? But again, that same thing, undecided voter, two different focus groups, two different people, two different shows, both hitting on the fact that there was no specificity, the economy was better under Trump, inflation wasn't as bad, and we can't afford to take the chance because there was no specificity given from Harris. That is a big deal. In fact, look at this. Again, this took me a minute to put this all together, but just let me know if I land this point. Here is a CNN snapshot of a poll right after the debate. This is like literally within an hour, a minute or two after the debate. I'm going to just show you this. Who would better handle the economy? Before the debate, Trump was at 53, Harris was at 37. After the debate, 2% shifted directly over to Trump. That's on CNN. That's their polling, okay? Now again, I'm not saying anything's in the bag. I really want to drive that home. You got to vote. But let me jump over to mainstream media. This is Reuters. You're starting to pick up a theme here. Some undecided voters not convinced by Harris after debate with Trump. This came out September 11th in the morning. So this is yesterday morning, okay? Listen to some of the points here that I've highlighted. Kamala Harris was widely seen as dominating Tuesday's presidential debate against Republican former President Donald Trump. But a group of undecided voters remained unconvinced that the Democratic vice president was the better candidate. They are splitting the debate and the presidency. That's not good for Harris. Reuters interviewed 10 people who were still unsure how they were going to vote in the November 5th election before they watched the debate. 6 said afterwards they would now either vote for Trump or were leaning towards backing him. 3 said they would now back Harris, and 1 was still unsure how he would vote. So, based off of this, 6 out of 10 are swinging to Trump. 3 are swinging to Harris, with 1 going wishy-washy. That's a really big deal, guys. A really big deal. That's a 60% fall to Trump in an election that is determined by tens of thousands of votes in 7 key swing states. This is a death knell for the Harris campaign if that shows up in the final result. But again, you got to vote. I got some more stuff for you. It just keeps on stacking on this theme. The Trump converts said they trusted him more on the economy, even though all said they did not like him as a person. Goes back to the CNN interview. It's not about who you're taking to your dinner party or having over for dinner because you like the person. It's about who's going to do what for the economy in the country. Same thing's happening in Reuters. We now have CNN. We have Dr. Phil. We have Reuters. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's keep going. They said their personal financial situation had been better when he was president between 17 and 21. Some singled out his proposal to tax foreign imports, although economists say that's likely to raise prices. 4 of those 6 also said Harris did not convince them she would pursue different economic policies than Democratic President Joe Biden, a Democrat they largely blame for the high cost of living. It's all about their personal experience. Harris is being tied to Biden. Harris is being identified as part of the reason for the problems that Trump is identified as stronger as. This is a really big deal. As this continues, because they're probably not going to meet again in another debate, this is the narrative going forward. Harris won the debate. Great. Congratulations. Trump's better for my life. That's what they're all saying. I'm not saying that. They're saying that, right? Let's keep going. I got a few more things, and this is so key to understand, guys. When you see broad trends like this, there's something to it. Quote, this is so perfect. I felt like the whole debate was Kamala Harris telling me why not to vote for Donald Trump instead of why she's the right candidate, Wheeler said. That's another person involved in the interview process. That's exactly what the election has been. Don't vote for Trump because Trump is bad. What about you? Did I mention don't vote for Trump because he's bad? It's a race to the bottom on the strategy here. All right, one more thing for you. Let's jump over to the New York Times. Again, let me know if I land this plane, guys, because I'm really interested to see these themes here. Now, here's some other stuff. The split between the political pundits, the talking heads, and the actual people. Immediate reaction from political and analysts favored Miss Harris, whose attacks appeared to rattle Mr. Trump. She goaded him over the various criminal and civil charges against him, she did. She said his former aides considered him a disgrace and that world leaders laugh at him. At one point, she asked whether he might be confused, a stinging line given Mr. Trump's relentless mocking of President Biden's mental acuity. And she questioned his emotional stability by saying he was not capable of processing a loss in 2020. That's exactly what she was doing. But not all voters, especially those undecided few who would sway the election, were effusive about the vice president's performance. You seeing the theme here, guys? But they also said she did not seem much different from Mr. Biden, and they wanted change. Again, a change election. If you want a change election, Kamala Harris loses. That's the end result. If it's a change election, she's identified as Biden, she's gone. She's done. That's the way this is reading. Again, vote, 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 vote. Get your friends and family to vote, 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 vote. But I'm just saying. And most of all, what they wanted to hear and didn't was the fine print. Understand how key that is. That's what every single individual video I just showed you said. That's what every article has said. There was nothing provided to get them out of the mess that they're in. It was all the feels and the emotions and the responses and the orange man bad. Let's continue. I got some more for you. These are real world examples. This is New York Times, not NPR. New York Times. Savanaka Kelly, who lives in Milwaukee, said her 3 teenage daughters began laughing when Mr. Trump ranted about false social media rumors that migrants in Ohio are stealing and eating pets. Not false, they are doing it, but whatever. Miss Kelly, 45, liked a lot of what Vice President Harris had to say, especially about Mr. Trump's role in the riot on January 6th. Still, she said she wanted to hear more specific policy proposals, especially as they compared to Mr. Biden's record. She didn't kind of separate herself, Miss Kelly said, adding that she was still on the fence. Understand, that is a Democrat-leaning independent. They're already leaning, and Kamala Harris did not even secure that person because she's still on the fence after the debate. Guys, there's a trend emerging. Let's do another one. Samira Ali, a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, this is heart of Democrat vote country in Wisconsin, entered the debate unsure whether she would vote at all, so either Harrison or nobody. She left a raucous viewing party on campus, still unsure. Quote, "She still has to impress me," said Miss Ali, 19, as someone who recently moved, this is so key, as someone who recently moved into her own place off campus and has had to buy groceries for the first time. Miss Ali said she wanted Miss Harris to speak more about housing costs and inflation. "I'm still deciding," she said as the debate neared its end. Do you guys understand what that means? A 19-year-old gets her first taste of reality for the first time ever and goes, "Oh, we got to do something about this." This is what's happening. This is the things that they're not telling you. Listen to this. Again, I'm just kind of rolling because there's a lot of information here, but listen to this anecdotal example. Delia Miller, 34, who lives in Milwaukee, grew intrigued by Miss Harris too. Miss Miller said she had voted Democrat in past presidential elections, but decided to stop voting altogether about a year ago. Her own situation and that of other black women in Milwaukee had not improved, she said. Shocking. On Tuesday, she felt nudged unexpectedly towards Mr. Trump. What? Okay. Trump's pitch was a little more convincing than hers, Miss Miller said. "I guess I'm leaning more on his facts than on her vision." So key, guys. This is the stuff that you're going to look back at and go, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." Miss Miller said that while her heart pulls her to Miss Harris's potentially history-making candidacy, she finds herself thinking fondly of her old life. Again, here we go. When Trump was in office, not gonna lie, I was living way better, she said. "I've never been so down as in the past 4 years. It's been so hard for me." How many of you feel that exact same way? In southern Arizona, Jason Henderson, a defense contractor and retired soldier, had been resigned to skipping the election, unable to stomach either candidate. Like Miss Miller, though, he came away from the debate leaning tenuously toward the Republican nominee. Guys, this stuff is anecdotal, but it shows you something that's happening underneath the surface. This is how it basically starts to grow and people start talking and it evolves into a surprise at the end of this. You have to be active, you have to vote, you have to do what you can for this. But what we are seeing in the fallout after this debate is a dramatic realization of Harris as Biden and everything was better under Trump versus Biden, and I'm tenuously leaning towards Trump. 6 out of 10 independents or undecided voters were leaning towards Trump in the post-debate interviews. And you saw all these other things, Reuters, New York Times, CNN, and Dr. Phil. Gotta put Dr. Phil in there. Guys, something is happening, and I hope you enjoy this analysis. It took me a while to get it all together to see the map and the lay of the land, but I hope it helps you out. Everything will be linked as usual. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.